great. So as we're kind of waiting for everybody to show up, I'm just going to tell you, awesome, thank you, Jenna. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, and maybe you guys can tell me where you're from. So go ahead and comment, where are you from? I am coming to you tonight from central Pennsylvania. It's a little town called Northumberland, and it is a super small town, but I actually serve brides all over the country. So I've had brides from Chicago, New York City, Baltimore, California, Florida. Hi, Crystal from Texas. Yeah, so I'm in a small rural town, but we serve the whole country. I've sent samples to England even, so yeah, we're sort of a global stationery business. So go ahead and settle in, and if you want to grab a glass of wine, I've got mine somewhere here. Go ahead and grab a glass of wine or grab a snack, and we'll get started here in a sec. Hi, Samantha, Minnesota, awesome. I've never been to Minnesota. I hear it's really beautiful though. That's what everybody says about Pennsylvania too, and Pennsylvania is really beautiful. So grab your wine, I'll be drinking with you. So if you have a second to text any engaged friends too, you can tell them to join the live stream, because we'll be doing some giveaways. And you got your Pinot Grigio. That's awesome. Awesome, Amy. Yeah, so text any engaged friends. I don't know if the moderators are going to be on right now adding people to the group, but you can try, because I'll be doing giveaways for everybody, either commenting or asking questions in the group. So it'll be nice for them too. And if we get a whole lot of people, I might do an extra little giveaway, a custom designed return address stamp. So let me think. I can tell you something about myself. I just had a son. He's actually almost 9 months old, but anybody that's had a baby knows that it goes so, they tell you it goes fast, it actually really does. He is going to be 9 months on Mother's Day, actually, which is really cool. His name is William. He's named after my dad, and we call him Will, and he's just crazy. He actually just went to sleep. My husband put him to sleep. Let's see. Okay. So, so everybody that attends today is going to get a free wedding planning timeline from us, which is really helpful. Let me see. I'm still getting used to this. Okay. So I can see all of your comments. I can see how many people are on. So, so everybody's getting a free wedding planning timeline, and you guys will get a link to that after the live stream. So if you've commented, you're eligible to get that planning timeline already. Just all you need to do is go to my Facebook page, my Freebird Paperie Facebook page, which there is a link in the description of this video that will be on the group page afterwards. So you just have to go there and message me, because I cannot initiate a message to you from my Facebook page. So you're just gonna have to go on there, and then I'll send you the link, and then everybody's gonna get a 10% discount code to my business as well. And then the other big one is everybody who places an order in May is going to get free matching thank you cards with their order. So you just have to place an order, or you just have to put a deposit down actually in May. A lot of people are concerned that if they don't know their exact wedding date or the venue or details, they can't order, but that's not actually true. You can still hold your place by placing a small deposit, and then when you're ready to actually order, you would get matching free thank yous. So I'll detail all that later once again. So go ahead and get started. So I want to thank Jennifer so much for allowing me to present to your group. You have a huge, awesome following, and you guys, I've been following you guys for weeks now, and I just love the camaraderie and the support you guys all give each other as you're planning your weddings. I think it's really cool, and I'm just really, really proud to be a part of that. So thank you, Jennifer, for having me. I'm so honored, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys tonight. So I'll give you a little overview of what we're going to talk about, and if you have any questions along the way, just let me know. So tonight I'm going to tell you about how I got started, how my business has come to be, and a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to give you guys a bunch of really awesome tips and tricks as you start to think about your wedding stationery, and also some questions that you can ask of your wedding stationery designer, whether that's me or somebody else. But I'll give you some really good things that you want to take note of and make sure you remember as you're doing that. And then the last thing I'll do is tell you about how our process works. I can't speak to other designers, but I can tell you about how we work, and you know, how simple the process is and how long it takes, and then of course where you can find us online if you want to look us up. And like I said, all of the links to our Facebook, Instagram, website, everything are all going to be in the description of this video when it is over. And then all along the way, just go ahead and ask questions, and I will answer them either as I go or at the end. So our website is freebirdpaperie.com. And then Instagram, I'm freebird_paperie_design. And then Facebook, it's just Freebird Paperie Graphic Design. All of that's in the description. So let me tell you about how I got started. Blah, 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 intro is over. Tell you how I got started. So I actually grew up on a chicken farm, believe it or not, a chicken farm. I helped my dad when I was a little girl all the time, and it was a growing business, and it was always my dream to be this city girl. So I don't know if any of you are, if you guys are from New York City, it was my dream, like ultimate dream, to live in New York City. So I went to the University of Delaware first because they had a marching band. I'm a band dork for anybody out there who was in the band in high school or college. So they had a marching band, so I really enjoyed that and got my degree in apparel design. And then I worked at Macy's for a while designing as a design assistant for a brand under Macy's called JM Collection, and really the only people who would wear it would be either our mothers or grandmothers. So it wasn't very exciting, and it wasn't really what I pictured for my life, and I was in this tiny cubicle, and I just was honestly kind of depressed about it, and was in the middle of getting married. So during that time, I started, of course, look for wedding invitations like you guys are, and I'm looking at templates, and I'm looking online, and I just was feeling like nothing was really me, and it wasn't really us. So what I ended up doing was designing my own, and oh my gosh, did I enjoy it, obviously. So Freebird Paperie actually was born out of me designing my own wedding invitations, and I just completely fell in love with the process, and started, while I was still working at Macy's, I started following all these wedding blogs, all these stationery blogs. I'm just like eating them up like as much as I possibly could, and learning as much as I possibly could about the business, and just sort of like planting a little seed in there about, you know, would I ever want to do this myself someday? So while I'm sitting in this cubicle one day, I actually dreamed up the name Freebird Paperie, and Freebird to me just was, you know, it's cheesy, but I just wanted to break out of there and become sort of a free agent and work for myself and not have a boss someday, and just kind of fly free. Then in 2010, we moved back to the area and back to central Pennsylvania, and I started working all kinds of random jobs. I worked for a retail store for a little while. I worked in a probation department as a secretary, but all the while I was slowly plugging away, building my brand new business. And it really just started out as a hobby, and I did a couple weddings the first year, did a couple more, and then continued to grow over the last 7 years. And a few years ago, I started doing this totally full-time and supporting my family doing this. And since my son was born, I've just been beyond grateful to have the opportunity to stay home with him and do what I love at the same time. So since then, I actually brought on an assistant, and she is such a rock star. Her name is Annie, and she just keeps me super organized, and she's just a sounding board for me, and you will hear from her a lot. She does customer service, she does administrative tasks for me, and she's an amazing writer and social marketer and all that kind of awesome stuff. So she's been amazing, and we're like dabbling, thinking about maybe picking up an intern. So we are definitely growing, and it's been just such a huge blessing over the last 7 years, and I'm just really excited to see where we're going here. My inspiration, I like to pull inspiration from Pinterest, just like anybody else. Pinterest, Instagram. I follow a lot of painters and artists and drawers on Instagram that I just like, oh my gosh, they amaze me. But I also really like to pull inspiration from music, and the big one would be nature for me. My husband and I really like to kayak and hike and fish, so it's just the perfect way for me to unwind and decompress and find peace and inspiration, and really bring that those beautiful things back to my clients. Beyond wedding stationery, I also design logos and websites for businesses and stationery that they might need as well. So that's kind of another facet of my business too. So if you see anything on my website, that's what that's about. And in the future, I think what I might be doing soon, and if anybody's interested and has a super tight wedding stationery budget, you can let me know in the Facebook messages on my Facebook page. Just let me know, because I think we're going to start doing some print yourself templates. So it'd be for super budget friendly option, and it'll unfortunately won't have that totally custom option, but it just gives you just a better way to go if the budget's really tight. So I just absolutely love what I do, and I'm just so honored to be able to serve my brides all over the country, and I just love designing beautiful wedding stationery. So I want to show you a picture of my family. This is, I don't have a picture of my son right now, but this is my husband and I on our wedding day. You can see us there. Hi, Jennifer. This is another picture of us on our wedding day. I had this like funky high-low, I think that's what they call it, high-low dress, where it was a little higher in the front. So that's us, and my son's a cutie patootie. I don't have a picture of him handy, but he's adorable. So that kind of gives you a picture of me and what I've been doing the last 7 years and my life. But what I'm really passionate about is pulling out your vision for what you're trying to do with your wedding. So I just remember when I was planning my wedding, just having this like, okay, I know exactly what I can picture, like what I want it to look like, and I know, I want this type of flower and this kind of feel. Like I want my guests to feel like they're at like a family party. And yay, hi Amy. Oh, this is so cool. I love being able to see your comments. So keep commenting, it's really fun. Yeah, so I really like being able to pull your vision together, and what I was saying was I had this vision of what I wanted my wedding to be, and I just couldn't find the perfect stationery for it. So I really pride myself in being able to pull that all together for you. And I'm really good at interpreting what people say too. So if you say, I just want this whimsical casual feel, I'm really good at pulling that together and interpreting that into like a visual invitation. So, all right, I apologize. I do have a couple nights, so if I didn't, I would be totally lost. Yeah, and one of my absolute favorite things is hearing that my clients are beyond thrilled with their invitations, and even more so when they email me or text me and say, our guests are getting the invitations and they love them, and like, that is the ultimate compliment to me. So, and we're lucky enough to say that happens fairly often. So All right, so just a reminder for everybody who's just recently tuned in here, we're doing a couple giveaways. If you comment in the comment section or ask a question during the stream, you're gonna be already eligible to get a free wedding planning timeline from us. So just after the stream ends, go on my Freebird Paperie graphic design Facebook page and send me a message, because I cannot initiate a message to you as a business, which is silly, but just as long as you've commented and sent me a message on there, I will send you the link to the wedding planning timeline and a discount code for 10% off your order and a coupon for free thank you cards if you order in May. So, let me see. So I'm just going to start right into some tips and tricks and advice that I have been giving my clients for years and years. And if you have any to add, let me know, because that would be super helpful. So the first thing that I love to tell my brand new clients that I've just booked is to start a Pinterest board. And if you didn't already start a Pinterest board, I'd actually be a little bit surprised, because it's so popular in the wedding industry. But and it's kind of, I call it my happy place. When I'm having a bad day and I just need to decompress, I like to go on Pinterest and just look at pretty things. But anyway, so go on Pinterest, start a wedding board, and pin things that give you that feel that you're going for in your wedding. And it's so helpful to all of your wedding vendors. It's one of the first things that I ask for is, have you been collecting inspiration images? Because it just starts to give me more of that visual idea of what you're looking for. And if you don't have one and you don't want to do that, that's fine too, but it is pretty helpful. The other thing I really like to tell my clients is actually go to the hardware store. You're probably like, the hardware store. I like to tell people to go to the hardware store and go to the paint section and look at all the beautiful paint chips. One of my favorite things to do. And pull out chips for the colors that you're trying to achieve for your wedding. Because, I have a client that will say, I want green. Well, we all know there's like a billion different greens. There's sage green, Kelly green, hunter, olive. So having those paint chips in your back pocket so that you can give them to different vendors is super helpful. And it's nice to be able to give a little chip to your vendor and say, okay, this is the feel we're going for, or the color. Because what I can do then is actually match your ink, your printing, your envelopes to that color, which is pretty awesome. And then next you want to figure out how many invitations you actually need. So some people this might sound like total common sense. Others this might be like a light bulb moment. So look at your guest list, think about how many people you're planning to invite. So say you're planning to invite 100 people. So what I do is cut the number in half and then add in a few extra for keepsakes and extras, anybody that you might have forgotten about. Because remember, you're not going to send an invitation to every single person on your list. You're going to send one to each household. So that's going to be each couple or each family. So if you could, go ahead and comment below how many invitations you think you might need based on the number of people you're actually inviting. So that's just an easy way to kind of do an estimate if you don't quite know exactly how many people or how many invitations you need yet. Like you don't want to actually do a count. So if you're inviting 100 people, I would recommend, you cut that number in half, add a few more back in. So I'd say order about 55 invitations, but of course it's going to vary with your guest list. So tell me below how many invitations you think you'll need. Or did I say how many people? Wow, 174. Amy, are you having like a humongous wedding? That's amazing. Wow. 75, okay. Like a very typical order that I see all the time is like 50 invitations. This is awesome. Jennifer, are you getting married? Maybe only, okay. Yeah, and that's 50 invitations is something I see like a lot. It seems like, and I've done some research on the common numbers people are inviting to their wedding, and it went up like pre-recession, and then of course when the recession hit, it went way down. And then, wow, congrats, Jennifer. I didn't know that. And then when the recession kind of petered out, and of course we're still recovering from it, but then that number started to creep up a little bit. But it seems like people are really starting to get into this more intimate feel for their weddings. Close family is 125. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. My husband is one of 7, and like they all have like a billion kids. My son was the 12th grandchild on that side. So there were, yeah, we hit 50 just with like our immediate family. It was crazy. Wow. Very cool. So that's a really good tip to go into your wedding stationery interviews, knowing how many you need, because it'll obviously help with your costs. So start early. That's another really good one. If you guys could, I wish I could do intimate for my family. I'm exactly the same way. I actually wanted to elope. Like I wanted to go to Puerto Rico and just get married on the beach because my family vacations there. But there were just too many of us, and we didn't want to get married and not have our family there. So we changed plans. We got married by the river, and locally here it was great. Anyway, next tip is start early if you can. If you're getting really close to your wedding date, and go ahead and comment your wedding dates here when you get a second. Ideally, what I love is when my clients approach me around a year prior to the wedding. That is a really nice comfy cushion to get everything done and not have like this crazy stress monster like on your back. So a year is great, but totally not necessary. What I recommend for sending save the dates is, okay, awesome. Seeing some wedding dates come in. Those are almost the same date. Wow. Amy and Samantha, you're getting married. Oh, a year apart though. Ooh, November. I don't think I've had a November wedding yet. Okay. So save the dates should go out. Katie, ooh, very, very soon. That's exciting. Save the dates should go out about 6 to 8 months prior to the wedding, as long as you're not doing a destination wedding. If you are doing a destination wedding, I really recommend you should send the save the dates about a year prior. Because think about it, your family needs to make travel arrangements and call off work and all this stuff. So it's just like a really nice courtesy to give them that extra time. And then what I recommend is send your invitations about 8 to 10 weeks prior. A lot of common etiquette says 6 to 8 weeks, but I've just had issues in the past with the United States Postal Service. So I just like to give a little extra time. So I recommend like 8 weeks minimum. 8 weeks is fine, but 10 if you can do it. And then you want your RSVP date about 3 weeks prior to the wedding date. And then that gives you time to follow up with people who haven't responded, because unfortunately that is probably going to happen. You're going to have a little list that you're going to need to follow up with and see, are you coming or are you not coming? So, all right. So next would be decide on a budget. This is one of the hardest things when you're planning a wedding, but you really want to think about, what are your priorities? Is your priority to have like absolutely stunning photographs or video of your wedding that you can watch back? Or is it your paper products, like your stationery? Is it the venue? Kind of prioritize your vendors, sort of, and then just think about what you want your budget to be. When I got married, I used the Knot. There was a really awesome budget tool in there. But going into your appointment with your wedding stationery designer, knowing about how much you're okay spending, is really going to be helpful for both them and you, because you guys can tweak your order so that it fits within your budget. So it's just a good thing to have on your mind as you go into those appointments. And remember that this is an investment. This is the biggest day of your life, short of like having a child. So it's just not something you really want to cheap out on. There are definitely ways to keep the budget low, but remember that your guests are going to open this and they're going to get a feel for what they're going to experience on your wedding day, and they're going to get a feel for your style as a couple. And I just absolutely love that. And I love that I get to play such a huge part in people's big day, like they're the biggest day of their lives. So it really is an honor, and just remember that it is an investment, and you can always frame these and hang them on the wall. I have a shadow box. My bouquet is in a shadow box here on the fireplace mantle, and my invitations are in it, and it's just awesome. It's something I'll never forget. So the next tip I have for you would be to think about what information you want to get across to your guests. So beyond, the date, the time, and the location of the ceremony and reception, you want to also think about, is there additional info that I might need an extra card for, basically. So do you have a block of hotel rooms that you need to tell your guests about? Do you have directions to, that's exactly what my fiance wants to do with our invites. So Amy, you want to save them? Is that what you're saying? That's awesome. Yeah. A lot of people frame their invitations. I actually had somebody emailed me after their wedding. Someone had gifted them a painted version of their invitation. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'll have to share it. I'll share it on my Facebook page after the feed. I'll try to remember to do that. I'm gonna write myself a note. All right. So do you have directions, a block of hotel rooms that you need to tell your guests about? Do you have a wedding website that has like extra information on it? And you might want to put your registry info on the website, because it's like a little more sly way of telling people where you're registered. Because etiquette does say don't put your registry on the invitations. Sorry. It does make things a little trickier, but I've definitely done it before. I've definitely printed invitations on, or I've printed registry info on invitations. It's really up to you, but what I think is a great idea is putting it on your wedding website and then putting your website on the invitations. It's a little more subtle. I even had a couple once do something called a hand fasting ceremony, where they had everybody, all their guests bring a piece of ribbon and then like braided it together, and it was a symbol of, them tying their lives together, and all of that extra information was on an enclosure card. So think about what info you need to get across to your guests as you're going into your stationery appointments. The next tip would be to pull in your theme and your colors. So I'm going to show you guys a ton of samples here. Feel free to comment as you're seeing stuff. Tell me what you like, because that'll actually help me if we start to talk. It'll help me remember what invitations you thought were pretty. So pull in your theme. So what is your theme? Do you have a theme? That's okay if you don't. A lot of my brides just have like a color and a feel they're going for. They're not necessarily like, they don't have a specific theme they're trying to go with, but I can kind of pull it all together regardless. So comment below what your theme and what your colors are. And as you guys do that, I'm gonna go through and show you some samples that I've actually designed for people in the past. So some of the more interesting themes that I've been asked to work with are, I had a book theme once. So this was actually a friend of mine. So they had some envelope printing. I'm gonna try to do this fairly quickly, but if I'm going too quick, just tell me. So they both really like to read. So I hope this is bright enough. So they both really like to read. So their invitation actually looked like a book. Teal, black, and gold. Oh, that's really cool. Their enclosure card looked like a page out of an old book. It was kind of like an old piece of paper. So they had venue and accommodations, directions. And then this is my favorite part of the suite, was their little response postcard was like a library card. So cute. I loved it. Okay, so that was fun. And then their program also kind of looked like the book, looked like the invitation. And yeah, it was printed front and back. Okay, so that was one of the actually really super interesting themes I've gotten. This was a travel theme. So this outer envelope, this is a really cool folder envelope. So their invitation got mounted here. So this is a travel theme. It had a really light map in the background, and then their enclosure cards were in the pocket. Also, a little map in the background. Me too, Amy. I was obsessed with that response card. And then their response card. So that was a travel theme, which was another one that I was dying to do for the longest time. So I'm really glad that couple just came along. Their wedding actually didn't happen yet. I probably wouldn't normally show someone's invitation that hasn't even happened yet. So my mistake there. This was actually, this is a subtle Beauty and the Beast theme. So I know that's really popular right now because the movie was out. Did everybody see Beauty and the Beast? I literally cried at the end. This is terrible lighting. I'm so sorry. But it's really light blue. Oh, Amy. I hope I'm saying your name right. Amy. Shades of teal, copper, and blue. I love that. I'm really, in central Pennsylvania, a lot of our brides kind of end up picking the same colors. And mint and blush are still super popular, but it's really exciting to see some different things coming out too. So the RSVP card, sorry, that's like horrendous. I'm gonna move past this. Like, light is not my friend right now. So this one was kind of like a simple vintage lacy feel. So she had like a craft paper outer envelope, and then she had a blush folder envelope. So this is a really cool folder envelope too. And I have it the right way. Royal blue, turquoise, and gray. Awesome. Okay, so this is really fun. Hopefully you can see okay. So then her enclosure cards and response cards are in the pockets. This is one of my most popular collections. People like to order that. This was sort of just like a nice classic elegant theme. So they did some envelope printing on the outer envelope, and then when you open it, there was a belly band. So they printed their wedding date on the envelope. Sorry, on the belly band. Amy, okay, awesome. I'm sure there's a delay on your end, but okay, and this is another nice folder envelope. So when the guests open it, invitation gets mounted right on here. So you use double stick tape or like a glue stick, and it actually sticks to the inside of the folder envelope, and then any enclosure cards or response cards can go in here. So this is like a just really classic, elegant theme, and I've had somebody else customize this too in mint and blush, believe it or not. This was their program. They did a folded program, little place cards, and a beautiful little flat thank you card. So they would write in here. This is, in my area, in central Pennsylvania, this is one of the most popular suites that I offer. So this is a little bit of a rustic theme. So she had a really nice shimmery green envelope. This is the invitation. So she had mason jars and pretty little flowers, and it was pinks and greens. And I think this always stands out at bridal shows that I go to because of just the pretty pinks. Yes, Amy, I also do programs. And I'll kind of get into more of that too. I don't know how long I've been going here. Oh, 35 minutes already. I hope that's okay, guys. And if you don't have time to watch all of this right now, you can watch the video later. But this is the program. People absolutely love this. This is like your lineup of your bridesmaids and groomsmen. And then they actually attached a tongue depressor to the back, and they were using it as a fan because it was warm out. Did a little custom map for directions, which is just so cute. It's so cute. And then the response card. Next, we did this awesome, okay, this is one of the more off-the-wall themes, but this is just a great example of some of the things that people tell me they want, and here's how I pull it together. So this girl had an Indian background and wanted to pull in elements of nature. So what we did was we pulled in this paisley design, which is a throw or an homage to the Indian culture. And then she actually asked if I could, so this is a belly band, printed belly band. She actually asked if I could use the paisleys in a tree design. So, oh my gosh, and I love all these fonts, and this was really fun to work on. And she had a ton of information for her accommodations card. And then there was another little enclosure card. Talked about the reception, transportation, And then of course her adorable little RSVP card and matching envelope. And you'll see a little bit of that one later. She did a program and a menu too, and they were really cute. Actually, here is the program. This was their program. Yeah, Katie, that lineup card is like really popular because it helps your guests know who is who, and you know where they're standing. This was her little place card. And little thank you card. All of this was letterpressed, which means the design is actually transferred to a metal plate and then it's inked and the design is pressed into the paper. So it has like a tactile texture to it and you can really feel the design. I've had a lot of people want fall themed weddings. So this one, it was a fall wedding, but I feel like it was like early fall because of how like colorful the leaves are. But what we did was I got swatches of all of her bridesmaids dresses and we pulled in the colors into the leaves. So every color you see here was actually one of the bridesmaids dresses, which is really cool. So it all pulled together really, really nicely. Enclosure cards. And then there was RSVP card. I don't need to show you all of that though. This is again, oh, here was her program. This is probably my most popular collection right now. Another fall theme. So it had like maple leaves on the top and a wooden background. And a lot of people ask me, can you change the wooden background? Can you make it lighter? Can you make it look more vintagey? The answer is yes. So navy envelope. And real pretty RSVP card. And lastly, so outer envelope, inner envelope. This was a really colorful collection. Belly band. And then they also had a nice fall theme going. So they did their wedding date. Obviously, this is kind of dated now. 2014, oh my gosh. I feel like it was yesterday. Fall theme, nice enclosure, and then matching RSVP card and envelope. Another awesome theme was watercolor. This is really popular right now. This and like marble. So very nice. I'm just gonna start flying through these. This one was like a nice, cute, whimsical, and vintage feel. This was this is the girl that did the hand fasting ceremony that I told you about earlier. So cute bunting on top, just nice little flowers. And you can see this is kind of similar to that Kim collection that I showed you earlier. This is my invitation from my wedding. So belly band, little parking card, so a little enclosure about where people should park. Our RSVP card. Oop. We had a s'mores station at our wedding. Is anybody doing anything like unique and really cool with their wedding? I'd love to know. My husband wanted the s'mores station. He's a sweet tooth. So we actually said, how many marshmallows can you eat? And people answered us. And then this was our invitation. Kind of pulled in all our colors. We had like teal, coral, tan going. We did a great Gatsby theme. This is actually on like a shimmery paper and the envelope itself is shimmery. There's a nice envelope liner in here. You can see that shine. The invitation. Tell me about any cool things that you're doing at your reception or your wedding in general. Just unique, different things. Okay, so that kind of covers a lot of samples. I'm going to show you some more then too, but so basically the sky's the limit with the theme and your colors. We can do it. So that was the moral of that story. So go ahead and also think about what special items you might want to add beyond just your invitation, your response card, and your envelopes. There's so much you can do to like draw excitement up for your wedding. So you can think about a textured paper or something with a little shimmer to it, or even maybe a craft paper. So we offer lots of different papers. These are all different paper options for your actual invitations. Beyond that, you can also think about envelope colors. So beyond just your paper color, we offer like hundreds and hundreds of different envelope colors. So you can really pull your theme together. These are matte options. We have shimmery metallic options as well. You can think about your printing method. Do you want to do letterpress like I mentioned before, where the design is actually pressed into the paper? Do you want to just go budget friendly, economical, and do flat printing? You can also pull in foil. So some really cool foil invitations we've done. Look at this. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. There, you can kind of see the foil shining on the, it's just on the border. That was one I did a couple years ago, and then this one, her wedding is actually just in a couple weeks. So she wanted like a marble and gold foil. So this is absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So it's like gray watercolor in the background and then black ink and gold foil. Absolutely, absolutely stunning. And then she did like a really, really pretty, sorry, I keep doing this backwards, a really light pink on the RSVP card. This light is awful. There we go. Okay. You can add a custom designed wax seal. And what I love about the wax seals that I offer is they're adhesive. So you don't have to mess around with like melting wax and stamping. You literally just like peel this off and stick it on your envelope. But I can do a custom design for you, and no, they are not an issue with the Postal Service. I do advise you check with your local postal people, because they can sometimes be cranky about things like this, but the wax seal is a really nice touch for the outside of your envelope. You can do folder envelopes, so it's a nice way to wrap everything up. So you would have an outer envelope, then your folder envelope. This one's really cool. And you've seen a couple of the folder envelopes already. So this one has like a button and a tie. Okay. So again, your invitation would get mounted. And then your enclosure cards and RSVP cards would be inside the pocket. So it's a really nice way to keep everything organized, and it doesn't just fall out of the envelope. But it's just, you know, an option. You don't have to do it. That was their program. They had a little folded program. This is a different folder envelope. This is like a nice light blue. But like I said, those envelope swatches I just showed you a couple minutes ago, these folder envelopes come in all those different colors. So now we'll talk about belly bands. Belly bands are fun, and you guys have seen a couple of these, but check this one out. What? Glitter. So yeah, you can do a glitter belly band, a printed belly band. I even do die cut ones that are like lacy options. And then this is a really cool one too. This is actually clear. It's like a translucent paper. And we did like a cityscape because she was getting married in Brooklyn on the 4th of July. So she did letterpress. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can see this is what's called blind pressed. So there's no ink, but it does leave that impression. So you can actually see, isn't that so cool? So they got married in Brooklyn on the 4th of July. So they did like the fireworks and the cityscape. Really cool. So we'll talk about envelope liners. So this was a save the date / Christmas card. So this was a nice photo of them. I did a Christmas card, and see it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And then they had a nice envelope liner. So this would be glued in here, but this is how it looks without the liner, with the liner. So just a nice little touch, and these come in anything you want them to. So if you have like a nice floral design on your invitation and you want to add that into your envelope liner as like a custom liner, so your guests, that's the first thing they see when they open the envelope, you can do that too. Envelope printing. So you can pull in elements of your design into your envelope. So this was like a lace design, and then they also did a little more lace on the front, and then they addressed their guest addresses and then a return address. This is another nice folder envelope, navy, and then inside was the lace kind of vintagey feel invitation. We can do magnetic save the dates. So these are awesome. They just go right on the fridge, and you're right in your guest space when they're getting milk out of the fridge, which is, it's just a really nice reminder about your wedding. Save the dates. This is me and my hubby. There's another nice save the date. And then one of the things that I really like to do for people after the wedding is to pull their photos together from their photographer. Of course, we get permission from the photographer, but a nice collage on the thank you card. So this is a really nice memento for your guests to get after the wedding, and then they actually wrote on the back. So there's space here for them to write on the back, and then they sent that to their guests. Another nice thing you can do to pull in the design from your invitations are table numbers. So this is your standard table number, or you can get really creative and go with places you guys have visited. This was different books the couple has read. So you can get really creative with that and think about how you could name your tables other than just table numbers. You can do menus for the tables. This is one of my favorite things to do too, because I can really see what they're planning on serving their guests, and it makes me really hungry. And then we've got different styles of programs. So this is probably my favorite style because it's just like short and simple and cute. So it's a little like 3.5 inch by 9 inch card, and then ceremony information on one side. You can do the wedding party on the other side, a little note of thanks to your guests. Then we do a flat 5.5 by 9 inch card, which is also super popular. You can print on the front or the front and the back. And then this is the more traditional option where it's folded. And this is good for people that have like a lot more information to go into the programs. You also do miscellaneous signage. So if you are having like a signature cocktail, or you have a tribute to family members that have passed away, or you want to put a sign on the buffet table about what the guests are about to eat, that's a really nice way to pull in your invitation design into a sign. And then of course we also do shower invitations. So this is a nice shower I actually did invitation I did for my best friend when she was getting married. So she had kind of a rustic theme, mason jars and wildflowers, and then of course mint and blush. Everybody loves mint and blush. So some of the other really cool things we do are return address stamps. That's, whoop, this is what it looks like. So you can custom design these, and I'm going to give away a custom return address stamp to one of you guys. So anybody that's commented and messages my Freebird Paperie Facebook page, I will select one of you after the stream, probably tomorrow morning, and then I'll comment back on this video who won the custom designed return address stamp. So this is like a $75 value, and I'll ship it right to you. So, and last but not least, we can do seating chart posters. So this is like a massive poster. This was one that I recently did. So this would sit outside your reception, and it's in lieu of place cards. So, sorry, that's a little glossy. Anyway, it sits outside your reception. You would send me your guest names and table numbers about 3 to 4 weeks prior to the wedding, and then I put that poster together, send you proofs, and then you approve it and you get it right before the wedding. And then you can stick it in a frame or mount it to foam core. I can also mount it to foam core, whichever you prefer. So that's a nice thing to do instead of place cards, so people don't have to go flipping through looking for their names. All right, and then I'm going to fly through some questions that you want to ask of your wedding stationery designer when you're talking to them, whether that's me or somebody else. There are just a couple important questions you want to ask them. So ask them for samples, because it's a nice way for you to be able to feel the paper, see their previous work, see the printing, and the quality and the thickness of the paper. You want to be able to touch all of that before you make a commitment to them, because this is the most important stationery you're ever going to order. So also check out their website. Do they have a professional website? Do they stay on social media? Are they active in their company, or is this just something that they're doing for fun on the side? You want to make sure that they're going to take care of you and ensure that you're going to get something that you really love. Look at their reviews. Do they have reviews on their website, on their Facebook, on a Google listing? If they don't, you kind of want to wonder why. Did they just start out? Why don't they have any reviews? Do they have bad reviews? Sometimes you can take that with a grain of salt. There are crazy people out there, but check those out before you make a decision, and see if anybody else you know has worked with them, because that'll really make an impression. And check out our reviews on freebirdpaperie.com/praise, and there's also a link to that in the description of this video. Make sure that they do more than just invitations, because like a lot of the stuff I just showed you, if you decide, you know, you want programs, or you want signage, or you need something that that you're going to need for the day of, like table numbers or the seating chart poster, you want it to all coordinate. And if you don't ask them ahead of time if they do all of that stuff, then you're going to be stuck scrambling to find somebody that can do that for you, that can also match to your invitations, which is pretty annoying for you. So knowing ahead of time that they do save the dates, programs, table numbers, place cards, those posters that I showed, the poster that I showed you, menus, signage, and even shower invitations. You can coordinate that all together with one designer if you find the right one. And then lastly, ask them if they do custom service, like custom design services, or if everything is just a template, because that's ultimately how I got into business. Was I just wanted somebody to custom design my invitations that were affordable. So find out, you know, can they take your vision and put it into invitation form and make it a visual reality? Or are you going to be stuck with a cookie cutter design that you are only going to be able to tweak a little bit? So find that out from the beginning too. And that's what really differentiates Freebird Paperie, is we hold your hand through the whole process, and you actually get to work one-on-one with me to design your dream invitations. And I interpret your vision into that stationery for you. So that's really what kind of makes us stand out in this big world of wedding invitations. I'm going to tell you really quick about how our process works, and do you guys have any questions? I feel like you guys must just be sitting there like, I hope you have wine. I have wine. So I'm going to tell you about how the process works, and this is our process. I can't speak to other designers, but we have tweaked this process over the last 7 years so that it is super streamlined, super simple, and you are not left frustrated ever. So what we do is we start with a consultation, and that can be either over the phone, FaceTime, or in person. So if you're near Central Pennsylvania, awesome. If you're not, totally cool. I really like to do FaceTime consultations with people, but the phone also works too. So I can also mail you samples so that while we're talking, you can be looking at what I'm looking at, and it's simple. It's just like we're almost there together. So start with a consultation, and also work on that Pinterest board in the meantime so that I can take a look at what you're thinking for your designs, for your wedding overall. Next, after the consult, you get a quick, easy estimate within 24 to 48 hours, usually less. And that'll line by line tell you exactly what the cost would be for each item, so that when you want to make any edits, you just say, okay, let's take this off, or let's change this, or let's add this, but you know exactly how much every piece of that costs. And you can make as many edits to that estimate as you'd like. So once you are completely happy with the estimate, then you would get an invoice from us, and we just take a small deposit to get started with the design process. And it holds your spot, it holds your date, and secures you in our calendar. Once you make the deposit, you will get a wording template from us. So that is where you will actually type in exactly what you want your invitations to say. And if you need assistance with that, we actually have suggestions right on our website, so you can check that out too. And then you would also get a list of completion dates from us, so you'll know exactly when you're getting proofs of everything, and you'll know when you're going to have everything in hands and when your wording is due and all of that. So you and I are both on the exact same page. I know when something's due and you know when it's due. So there's no confusion at all. Then we get to work designing, and I send you digital proofs via email. If you need a hard copy proof, we can do that too. And that's when the fun starts and you get really excited because you get your proofs in your email and you can request any edits that you might need. My dog just sat down next to me. Hi, Lucy. So once everything is approved design-wise, we are off to print, and then within a couple weeks you will get your invitations. And they're either picked up here at my office or they are shipped right to your door. So this differs a lot from just your typical online ordering because, like I said, we work one-on-one together to custom design your invitations, and it ends up being your absolute dream stationery. There's nothing cookie cutter about it, and it's unique just for you guys. So how long does that whole process take? If you go with a totally custom design, the sort of minimum time would be about 6 weeks or so. A lot of them take a little longer, just because the wedding is farther out and it's just not as rushed of a timeline, but it can take about 6 to 8 weeks to do a totally custom design. But a template design, if you were to pick a template from our wedding or from our website, those are a lot faster. We can do those in like 2-3 weeks, depending on how far away you are for ship time. So again, you can find us at freebirdpaperie.com, and there are links to my social media sites in the description of this video, and you can also click the link to schedule a consultation if you wanted to do that with me. And you can see there's phone consults, FaceTime, or in person, whatever you prefer. And those are free. And everybody tonight is going to get a free wedding planning timeline from me. And I will send you the link to that if you send me a message on, Jessica, we can ship outside the States. Where are you located? Let me know. So after the stream ends here shortly, go ahead over to my Facebook page, like the page, and send me a message so that I can get back to you with the wedding planning timeline, your 10% off discount code for any order of invitations, and anybody that puts a deposit down in May for invitations will also get a totally free order of matching custom designed thank you notes. So go ahead and, oh, Ontario, yeah, I can do that, absolutely. Just send me a message, Jessica, and we can talk more. All right, and like I said, I'm gonna select one of you guys who have commented here to also win a custom designed return address stamp. So that's what this little guy is. So one of you will win this with your own name and address on it, of course. So do you guys have any questions for me? Jessica asked, do we ship only in the States? No, we are able to ship pretty much anywhere. Canada is fine. Let's see. Yes, we do programs, place cards, all of that. I got some wedding dates here. It looks like some of you guys, when did you guys get engaged? Maybe you can tell me that for whoever's still on. And that's another thing I love when I have consultations. I love to hear how my couples met, how you guys got engaged, went, like how long ago. But I love hearing proposal stories. It's awesome. So I'm gonna give you guys like another minute or so to, oh, April 8th. Oh wow, that's like, that just happened. Oh, Samantha, and it looks like maybe your picture is actually of the proposal. That's so cool. Amy, you also just got engaged. Oh, awesome. My husband and I got engaged in August and then got married in May. So we were engaged for about 9 months, which was really nice. I actually could have gotten married in like 2 weeks, but once again, we decided to wait for my family. Nicole, October, awesome. So before the holidays, very cool. Oh, it says there's only 4 people watching, but I know there are more than that because more than 4 of you are actually commenting. So I don't know what that's about. But so I am going to close out here. If nobody has any other questions, I got engaged last year for our 9-year anniversary. Oh my gosh. I came in late. Do you do save the dates? Nicole, yes, I do. Here, let me show you. We do magnetic save the dates, and we also do just like regular card save the dates. This is actually my husband and I. These are all magnets, so they stick right on your fridge. This is what the back of them looks like. It's just kind of white. It's not really white, but it's actually magnetic. And then all these envelope colors you see comes in like hundreds of different envelope colors. So whatever your wedding colors are, we do that too. Anybody else have any questions? Make sure at the end of the stream you go over to Freebird Paperie Graphic Design on Facebook and like our page and comment or send me a message on there so that I can send you the free wedding timeline and the coupons. All right. I really appreciate you guys coming on and listening to me blab on and on for like an hour. This was really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And if anybody has any questions at all, just let me know. All right, I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you again to Jennifer for having me come on and speak to you guys. It's really an honor, and I hope you guys all have a great night.